Hollywood romances come and go, but some remain as unforgettable moments of star-crossed allure. Liv Tyler said that Joaquin Phoenix was her first love after years of being together in Tinseltown. Their passionate and intriguing story matches the public's fascination with celebrity flings. These peeks into our favorite actors' personal lives convey a timeless fascination with the nuances of love in the limelight, from surprising beginnings to tragic goodbyes. Explore the most famous celebrity relationships where previous paradises and unique ties bloom off the screen. Natalie Portman and Mobi. Many people were taken aback when word leaked out in 2001 that these two were dating. Their brief romance was presumably caused by Padmé Amidala. Portman portrayed Padmé Amidala, the mother of Luke Skywalker, a few years ago. Star Wars aficionados scrutinized this closely. It seems the force was not with these two, as Mobi subsequently acknowledged that the relationship made him a target of a lot of nerd wrath. Bradley Cooper and Renee Zellweger. These two met on set, just like most other Hollywood couples. After co-starring in the 2006 thriller Case 39, Bradley Cooper and Renee Zellweger were romantically involved. Due to scheduling conflicts, the film wasn't released until 2010, but they had reportedly been dating for a year when these two appeared in promotional photos. Despite several photos of their dates, vacations, and getting to know one another's families, they've kept their romance mostly hidden from the media. Bradley's work schedule became quite demanding after he transitioned from a supporting role to main man, and that's why they split up in 2011. Ashton Kutcher and January Jones. Ashton Kutcher and January Jones started as Abercrombie & Fitch models from Iowa and South Dakota, respectively, with comparable origins and aspirations for Hollywood. Later, the two became the closest thing we could have imagined for that 70s show pair. The two models went on to form a charming duo between 1988 and 2001. Rumors were circulating about Ashton's reaction to January's desire to become an actress, but Ashton has addressed them and expressed his happiness for January. Madonna and Dennis Rodman. There's not much connecting the Princess of Pop with an NBA basketball player from the Spurs. However, there are no restrictions on who may be attracted to whom, and Madonna and Dennis Rodman's attraction to one another resulted in their 2-month courtship in 1994. Even though they didn't date for very long, the photographers allowed us to at least see pictures of them looking ridiculous when they were out in public. Even if their relationship was brief, we will always remember those moments. Tom Cruise and Cher. You would think that their relationship would be something we would all remember, yet Tom Cruise and Cher's 6-month affair is often forgotten. Strangely enough, the two met at a wedding, of all places. But it wasn't just any wedding. These two first crossed paths in 1985 at the nuptials of Madonna and Sean Penn. They had a little spark at first, but once they were invited to the White House to discuss dyslexia, a condition they both share, the sentiments got going. Cher is still happy when she thinks back on their relationship. Justin Timberlake and Jenna Dewan. Every pop-loving teen's hopes vanished, along with matching denim ensembles, when Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears broke up, and none was certain that his dating someone else would be as successful. Jenna Dewan, a backup dancer for Justin at the time, enters the scene. Even though we don't have a video of the couple's onstage dance routines, these two amazing dancers have been together for a respectable amount of time. Following their breakup, they wed other celebrities. Dewan wed Channing Tatum from 2009 to 2018, while Timberlake and Jessica Biel wed in 2012. Cameron Diaz and Jared Leto. Given that he wasn't the only musician Cameron Diaz dated, her present union with rocker Benji Madden shouldn't surprise you. She was dating Jared Leto in the late 1990s. The two were gorgeous, golden-haired. Jared Leto, the 30 Seconds to Mars vocalist, regarded Cameron as one of his first committed partnerships. According to sources, they began dating in 1999 and were engaged somewhere during their 4 years of relationship. Even though they eventually parted ways, images of the two bring back some iconic 90s looks and fashion. Jessica Biel and Chris Evans. We'll imagine these two met backstage at TRL's sometime in 2001 because we have no idea how they ever got together. Chris Evans was starting in Hollywood, while Jessica Biel had recently finished filming Seventh Heaven. They soon began to appear side by side on several VH1 Music Video Awards and movie premiere red carpets. Over their 5 years of dating, Chris and Jessica have disclosed their frequent conversations about getting married to several interviewers. Together, they have acted in 2 movies, London, about a couple's breakup, and Cellular. Sadly, after these two broke up, reality mimicked art. Matt Damon and Winona Ryder. Few people remember Winona Ryder's time with Matt Damon, but she was the it couple of Tinseltown while with Johnny Depp. Gwyneth Paltrow, dating Ben Affleck then, helped bring these two together. It sounds fantastic that the 4 of them would go on double dates. Between 1997 and 2000, Damon and Ryder were in a relationship. After that, they chose to be merely friends. Interestingly, Affleck and Paltrow's relationship lasted for the same time. Years later, Ryder still thinks Damon is the sweetest person. They are still friendly with one another. Angelina Jolie and Johnny Lee Miller. Jolie and Johnny Lee Miller existed long before the tragic conclusion of Brangelina and even longer before Angelina and Billy Bob Thornton's perplexing romance. In 1995, they got to know one another on Hackers. The two tied the knot in a low-key civil ceremony 6 months later. Angie was dressed in rubber leggings and a white t-shirt with her blood-inscribed Johnny Lee Miller on the back. Even if it seemed a little harsh, there was a good reason behind it. "You can sacrifice a little to make it special," Angie said. Even though they broke up in 1997, they are still close friends and don't harbor any ill will. Christina Applegate and Brad Pitt. Are you looking for a novel concept for your first date that doesn't include supper and a movie? Consider Christina Applegate as an inspiration. For their first and only date, the Married with Children actress notably took up-and-coming actor Brad Pitt to the 1989 MTV Music Video Awards. These two cannot be long-term romantic partners, even with their adorable red carpet poses. Halfway into the date, Applegate exited, clearly not that into Pitt. We wonder what could have happened had they given it another go, even though they each went on to find love again in subsequent years. Kate Hudson and Alex Rodriguez. Although Rodriguez was seeing Madonna then, Hudson and Rodriguez are said to have first met in 2008 at the Fontainebleau Miami Beach Hotel's grand opening. He began attending the baseball players' games with Hudson a few months after he and Madonna called it quits. A stadium kiss that will never be forgotten made it official, even though neither of the two notified the media. After they split up after a few months, Hudson's interest in baseball vanished. A-Rod is content with J-Lo, and Hudson has a new baby daughter today. Joaquin Phoenix and Liv Tyler. Liv Tyler and Joaquin Phoenix, 18 and 21 years old respectively, met sometime in 1995 and dated for 3 years. Although the relationship didn't work out, it left a lasting impression on Tyler, who said, "He was my first love. He's a huge part of even my sense of humor." It's hard to forget your first love, especially when that first love is a major Hollywood heavyweight. They still like each other a lot, taking turns praising each other. Fiona Apple and David Blaine. Although it's unclear when Fiona Apple and David Blaine started dating, they were genuine, and their relationship got off to a fantastic start. By 1997, singer Apple praised Blaine to Spin magazine, claiming their personalities were similar. Thanks to our adept cyber searching, we have some fantastic photos of them together until 1999. However, we were unable to determine the reason for their separation. The spark between these two vanished around the year 2000. Certainly, when they were together, it was amazing. Nicole Kidman and Lenny Kravitz. Nicole Kidman had a real-life affair with Zoe Kravitz's father, rock singer Lenny Kravitz, before she co-starred with her on Big Little Lies. In 2002, they went on a discreet relationship and soon moved in together. Following their breakup in 2003, Kidman acknowledged that they were secretly engaged. Despite acknowledging they aren't ready to tie the knot, Kravitz and Kidman are glad Big Little Lies has brought them back together. Their whole love tale will remain inside the family. Michael Keaton and Courtney Cox. Courtney Cox once said of her one-time relationship with Michael Keaton, saying, "It's the most important relationship I've ever had, and I think he's the most wonderful person I've ever met." Keaton and Cox started their extremely private relationship in 1989 when Keaton was playing Batman in Tim Burton's Batman films and Cox was beginning her career on Friends. It's difficult to understand why people forgot about this relationship. The two separated 6 years later. You will now recall that Monica was Batman's girlfriend. Drew Barrymore and David Arquette. Drew Barrymore and David Arquette were both teens when they started dating. Thus, Barrymore hardly recalls dating Arquette either. You wouldn't be the only one who doesn't remember them. After their breakup, it seems they had no ill will, particularly since they had played brother and sister in the 1999 movie Never Been Kissed. Arquette characterized their courtship as little more than them acting foolishly during their youth. These two had recollections of getting along well on the set of Never Been Kissed, which is celebrating its 20th anniversary. Janet Jackson and Matthew McConaughey. McConaughey has verified the veracity of a rumor. This was not like many Hollywood rumors. It was real. Partially. "I understand that I've dated Janet Jackson in the past." McConaughey was questioned on Watch What Happens Live. He has a history of dating many well-known ladies. "There was a rumor that you once went out with Janet Jackson. Can you confirm or deny? And how would you describe your relationship with her?" Andy Cohen said during a round of Plead the Fifth. McConaughey responded directly, saying, "We went and we had dinner one night. That was kind of it." The actor has been married to Camila Alves since 2012. The two have 3 children together, Levi, Vida, and Livingston. Penelope Cruz, Ashley Judd, and Sandra Bullock are all on his previous dating roster. Julia Roberts and Liam Neeson. Very few people are fully aware that these two were ever together. When they first met in 1988 on the set of the dramedy Satisfaction, sparks flew almost instantly between them. Liam Neeson, who was 16 years older than Roberts, was more experienced in the acting industry than Roberts, who was only 19 years old and new to Hollywood. The established actor impressed the impressionable Roberts, and the two continued dating for 2 years before calling it quits. Alanis Morissette and Ryan Reynolds. When Drew Barrymore invited Ryan Reynolds and Alanis Morissette to her birthday party in 2002, it was the beginning of their relationship, and for a while it seemed fate would bring them together. After dating for 2 years, they got engaged in 2004, even though the marriage was not likely to work out, and they broke up soon after. The breakup album, Flavors of Entanglement, was largely inspired by this event. Ironically, their breakup led to one incredible album and 2 happy marriages later. Reynolds married Blake Lively, and Morissette married Mario Treadway. Sandra Bullock and Ryan Gosling. Sandra Bullock, America's sweetheart, and Ryan Gosling, the star of The Notebook, were a match made in heaven. Gosling was 16 years younger when they first met on the set of the thriller Murder by Numbers in 2002. Age is just a number, and so were the 2 years they spent together, during which they enjoyed many red carpet walks from the movie that made them fall in love with the Cannes Film Festival. These two will always be in our memories. Pink and Joey Fatone. It all started when Pink was on tour with NSYNC. Joey Fatone had a high school crush on her. He went to her father asking for permission to go on a date with her. The pop stars went to Friendly's to get ice cream. It's one of the cutest dates on this list. Hardly anyone knew that Pink and Joey Fatone ever dated. That's because they only had one date. But it was so sentimental that we've made our fantasies of their romance in our minds. Sheryl Crow and Owen Wilson. As with most Hollywood couples, Sheryl Crow just wanted to have fun, and we believe she may have had some with Owen Wilson. The two met on the 1999 movie The Minus Man set and immediately got together. The press didn't know much about the couple, but they made a few high-profile red carpet appearances before calling it quits in 2001. Crow wrote the ballad Safe and Sound, dedicating it to Wilson and saying, "There's beauty in release." Brooke Shields and Nicolas Cage. Although there aren't many details about their year-long relationship, it began at a perfect moment. Shields was one of the top models of the 1980s, and Cage had just finished starring in big-budget movies. The two made their red carpet debuts at the Moonstruck premiere in 1987 when they were still relatively young. We like to think that Cage used some of the charm Cher gave her co-star as a lesson in Moonstruck. Kid Rock and Pamela Anderson. The plot twist was that in 2006, they got back together and married in an unexpected ceremony on a yacht in St. Tropez. Kid Rock wore a white t-shirt and baseball cap, while Anderson wore a white bikini. Unfortunately, they broke up again in November of the same year. Lao Tzu once said, "The flame that burns twice as bright burns half as long." Pamela Anderson and Kid Rock were in and out of a relationship between 2001 and 2003, but when they were together, they were attached like moths stick around a light. Paula Abdul and John Stamos. The fact that Paula Abdul and John Stamos were once together would shock many, but if you briefly considered it, it began to make sense that they dated. It feels right that two icons of the 80s and 90s would end up together. They may not have lasted long, but Abdul and her gold dress appeared at the Grammys in 1990 with Stamos, the one person who could hold his own beside her. The two are on good terms, so we hope they reunite in the studio one day. Katie Holmes and Jamie Foxx. Having remained secretive about the relationship for so long, Katie Holmes and Jamie Foxx are arguably one of the most well-known couples. It was revealed in August 2019 that they had broken up several months earlier in May. They dated for 6 years, starting in 2013, but never made any official public appearances together. The most famous was the low-key pre-Grammys gala in 2018, where they arrived separately and sat at the same table. Their first public appearance together was at the 2019 Met Gala, which also happened to be their last before they called it quits soon after. Christian Bale and C.B. Blazik. One of the world's most well-known and successful actors, Christian Bale, has portrayed characters such as Batman and a former vice president. However, you may be surprised to learn that he has been married for almost 20 years. Bale met Chicago actress C.B. Blazik through their mutual friend Winona Ryder, and the two got married in 2000. The couple has 2 kids together. In an interview with Us magazine in 2017, Bale stated, "My wife likes to be very private, and of course I want to maintain that, but we have a great private life." Superb, Batman!
If you've watched the video till here, that means you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notifications bell icon,